Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Yesterday, Friday, March 31st, 2017, we had more Donald Trump news by the numbers. In case you're new to my channel, for the last 2 years, I've been documenting how Donald Trump is a puppet on strings, participating in contrived news stories on the daily. And the latest was yesterday Donald Trump having to settle with his Trump University students for $25 million, dollars, something that we know as one of the Trump numbers. But let's talk about why this settlement came yesterday, March 31st, 2017. In the US, we write that date 3/31. In this study of occult numerology, gematria, numbers are the same forwards as they are in reverse. So 331, how we might read that in the US, the way we write it, is also the same as 133. And I want you to notice that the word settlement equals 133, like White House, like government, like president. On March 31st, the man in the White House, the president, having to settle for his fraudulent university. And you know, if you go back, I was already documenting news by the numbers with Trump University months ago. But just think about this man that has been installed as the president. Look at what we've seen about this guy in the 2 years that I've been documenting all the news by the numbers. This is a guy who makes crude remarks towards all people, who's mocked the handicap, who's ripped off people at an educational setting, who said that he can do whatever he wants because he's a celebrity. He can even grab women's pussies, his words. This man is the president of the United States, a shyster, a con man, born with a silver spoon in his mouth. His business legacy is bankruptcy and getting bailed out by the taxpayers. And he's the president of the United States. Understand, in the history of anyone watching, none of us have ever seen a U.S. president elected. They're all selected, every single one of them. It's all a puppet show. The people who run this nation are not your politicians. It is the people who govern from the shadows, the industrialists, the bankers, all of your Congress people, your executive branch, your judicial branch, the Supreme Court. It's all a puppet show. None of these people have any authority. They don't make any decisions. There's a reason Washington, D.C. is on the 77th meridian. Secret society equals 77, and so does theater, and that's all you have there in D.C. A bunch of people in secret society serving the powers that shouldn't be and doing it in an ongoing puppet show by the numbers. See how Obama reopened Ford's Theater where Lincoln was assassinated as one of the first things he did as president, a theater that had been closed since 77 on the 77th meridian. You know, you got the Pentagon 77 feet tall, plus a whole lot more. I'm going to do a video soon about the Pentagon and why construction began on September 11th, 1941, finally cracked the code for why it was that date with the five-sided building. Has everything to do with Freemasonry, something to look forward to. It's all in the book and more. The book's coming out, Truth Seeker. The book's going to be so incredible. So anyway, yesterday was 70 days from Inauguration Day, or a span of 71 days. It was a date with 71 numerology. Very important number to the Catholic Church. Remember, where Washington, D.C. is once the Catholic colony. The Catholics have the Jesuits. Donald Trump's not Catholic, but he's a Jesuit. The name Trump also has gematria of 25. Yesterday, CNN, their two top stories at one moment were the $25 million settlement, and just below that was how an NFL player owns 25 Dunkin' Donuts. I didn't even take the time to look at which NFL player it was. I probably should have. Hopefully it wasn't Tom Brady. But remember, I said before the Super Bowl was played why the Patriots would win, why it was all about 25, and what Donald Trump had to do with it. It was the 97th season of the NFL. 97's the 25th prime. The Super Bowl was on 2/5. The AFC was going for its 25th Super Bowl win. Tom Brady was going for his 25th playoff win. And lo and behold, all of that happened with a record 25-point comeback. Your NFL is as big of a joke as your presidency. This whole fucking nation's a joke. You know, wake up. For all of you who watch my work and then don't know what to do with it or just go on grinding and going to work and paying taxes, understand that you are the problem. You're a gear, a cog in the machine doing your slave job. All of you were raised to be slaves, entertain slaves, just helping fulfill the beast system. And so many of you, that's all you do because you tell yourself that's all you can do. You know? All of you who go to work and pay taxes, you're the reason this system goes on. You're the only reason this system goes on. You see, if everybody stopped doing what they're doing, their whole system would die. Which is why I stopped doing what I was doing more than a decade ago. So anyway, Trump, $25 million lawsuit. It's all bullshit. It's a made-up story by the numbers. Little lesson, yesterday was also March 31st. The man who built Washington, D.C., the French Freemason, Pierre-Charles L'Enfant, gematria of 331. Just a little extra note. He died in history on June 14th, which is the U.S. flag's birthday, as well as Donald Trump's. That doesn't really have anything to do with yesterday's story. Just a side note. Also, Donald Trump, witch hunt. Trump, Flynn is victim of Russia probe witch hunt. What's witch hunt equal in gematria? We've seen Trump use this phrase many times. It equals 45, like him being the 45th president. Let me show you just how beautifully orchestrated the whole Michael Flynn resignation and all that has been. So March 30th, the headline was Flynn seeks immunity. Flynn seeks immunity. The headline had some interesting gematria. 83 like the Donald, like election, like leap year. 97 the 25th prime. Remember, 97th Super Bowl, all about 25. The day after that Super Bowl, the headlines were 97 companies against Trump. 97 the 25th prime, Trump 25. Anyway, the date of this story was a date with 43 numerology. The word immunity equals 43. He's seeking immunity. But it gets a lot better than that. From the day he was offered his job by Trump, which is November 17th, I got a video from the day it happened. You can go back and check. From that day until the day he sought immunity was 133 days. And the reason that's interesting is because government equals 133, White House, president. This calculator, you can come verify all this stuff very quickly. Government 133, White House 133. Go back to the first Republican debate in Ohio. That first debate was Fox News, and they had up on the screen multiple times, Donald Trump, the 133rd richest man in the world. And I put out a video after that debate, and I said, "Dear God, tell me that Donald Trump is not to be the next president." Well, we know he was, and it was told all from the beginning, in numbers, 1,000,000 times over. White House 133, government 133, president with the reverse 133. 133 days later, Michael Flynn seeking immunity. Now check this out. Michael Flynn resigned on February 13th, Lupercalia, the 44th day of the year. Remember, this is the day Antonin Scalia died. Lupercalia equals 44. It's the 44th day of the year. Donald Trump's the 45th president, but only truly the 44th man to be president. Anyway, from that resignation on the 44th day to him seeking immunity was 45 days later. And, Trump comes out and calls it a witch hunt. You see how this is? News by the numbers, puppet show. Don't people want to rise up and do something? Aren't you sick of being a slave and lied to and grinding and paying taxes to this authority that all they do is steal your money and lie to you and pay all these puppets all this money? These people living rich, high on the hog, while you're slaving and grinding away your whole life? This is why the people who rule over us, the Jews, the Masons, they call us the Goy. Because Goy are stupid, Goy are gullible, Goy are easily, ruled over. They'll settle for nothing. They're pretty much like pigs who will live in their shit. These are all the beliefs from the Talmud of the non-Jews. And this is who runs your nation. You know, there's nothing anti-Semitic about calling out the false Jews, which are pretty much the only Jewish people left in existence. You know, the Jews in the Bible are dark-skinned. How many dark-skinned Jews do you know? In the Bible, it says the false Jews will rule in the end times. And that wasn't some warning from God. That was a warning from the false Jews who wrote it, as arrogantly as they always have been. You know, the false Jews always call themselves out. They make these movies with the big-nosed people, the liars. That's one of the most known stories from all of our childhoods with Pinocchio. That recent movie came out, Minions, where the two most evil people in the world are some big-nosed Jews. They even put this in children's cartoons. It's all in front of your face because in their system of understanding, they know that the Goy are pathetic. The Goy will never do anything about anything. All the Goy know how to be are slaves and stupid and ruled over. And I gotta tell you, I'm pretty sure they're right. Because that's all I've seen my entire life living in this nation. Stupid people, people fooled by the dumbest shit, people entertained by the worst of things. I mean, how is Will Ferrell a celebrity? This guy's not funny at all. Humor for fucking retards. Given to you by your Zionist Freemason Hollywood, the same people who run your government. It's why the show House of Cards foreshadowed everything about Donald Trump in the news. It's all a big show. It's all a puppet show. Here's some gematria on puppets. Puppets 32, like theater, like America. As I mentioned, theater's also 77. Obama reopened Ford's Theater on the 77th meridian in 2009, 32 years later. 32 is the America number, you know. Obama 32, America 32, UK 32. We got our independence with an asterisk from the UK on 7/4/1776. It's because it's always been a puppet show, theater show with the same people running the show the entire time. Puppets also has the 113 gematria, like mainstream, like dishonest, like green screen, like bullshit, like fiction. We, in the mainstream, we're always given fictional bullshit information, but we are living out a real agenda that's a detriment to all of our lives. Some other recent headlines, great deal of smoke on Russia. I noticed something this day, just decoding Russia, that somehow I'd overlooked all this time. Russia equals 48, like Donald Trump. Remember, Trump had his convention in Cleveland. He ran on building a wall. Notice the 48 gematria for Cleveland, the 48 gematria for wall. You know, he had his convention in the same stadium the Cavs play in, who won the championship. LeBron James all of a sudden has a show about a wall. I'm telling you, the Freemasons, again, they run your government, your media, your money, your sports leagues. Everything that's in the mind's eye of the masses, they run. And that's why they run it. Here's also James Comey, another puppet. The FBI's nothing but, you know, part of the puppet show. Remember how James Comey, just before the election, reopened the thing against Hillary Clinton, like maybe there was a real scandal there with her 33,000 emails? And then they said the reason Trump won the election was because of the FBI doing that. You know, he lost the popular vote, very narrowly won in some states, which tipped the electoral. It's all scripted theater bullshit. They don't even count the votes. Everything they show you on the TV is all rigged and predetermined. But anyway, this is the narrative they gave you. And they said the FBI reopening that probably tipped it for Trump. Now they're saying, oh, Russia actually hacked the elections and Russia had this influence making more people. I mean, just think about it. How could Russia make more people vote for Trump? It doesn't even make sense. The narratives they give us never make sense. But now you have the FBI, which at first is who tipped the election for Trump. Now you have the FBI and Comey saying, well, maybe Russia really did tip it for Trump. This is all just bullshit. So clear. So clear. I don't know how people fall for any of this. Anyway, this emphasized headline, not on anybody's side, that sums to 239, which is the 52nd prime number. Donald Trump began his Jesuit training in 64, 52 years before 2016 when he would be selected as president. Government also equals 52, like authority, like White House, like president, like NWO for New World Order. Remember, Pope Francis met with the president on September 23rd, 23/9. Pope equals 52, like president, like White House. He took the White House lawn that morning at 9:23. Gematria. Ancient esoteric knowledge, part of the magical secret societies. How much influence does this gematria have over keeping the minds of the masses in their dummy state that they're in? You know? So there it is. Just wanted to cover the Donald Trump news by the numbers. Couldn't be any more sick of it. This must be at least the 150th post on Donald Trump news by the numbers, and there could be even more if I wanted to. But just every single day you read a news headline about Donald Trump, just understand it's contrived bullshit. Donald Trump's an orange Oompa Loompa, a puppet on strings. He makes no decisions. He has no authority. Yesterday, him walking out of the room before signing the papers. Understand, that's all part of the puppet show. Also yesterday, if you missed the story, Donald Trump was in front of the cameras and he was supposed to sign an executive order and hold it up like a proud kid with his report card like he's been doing, but this time he forgot to, and he walked out of the room, and Mike Pence had to go get his papers and then carry him out after him, and then the headlines were Donald Trump forgets to sign executive orders. It's all intentional. You know, the whole thing is just to distract people, to divide them, to confuse them, to make them fight, to make them wonder why this crazy man is in the White House. Like I said when I was a teenager, if George W. Bush is the president, what do they got for us next? Well, we know what they had for us next. They had the black man who pretended to be something he wasn't. I told everybody from the beginning, he's no different than Bush, and he wasn't. Now they give you something, Donald Trump, and people think he's going to be different than Obama. No, not at all. All these puppets just come in and carry the agenda, the powers that shouldn't be. You know? So that's enough for now, Truth Seeker. I think I will look up or let's just do it right now. Let's just see who the NFLer is with the 25 Dunkin' Donuts. I should have looked it up. Packers. Ricky Jean-Francois. I think he's a lineman, that guy. Huh. Green Bay. Packers. Wisconsin was the state where after Wisconsin they declared it for... after they declared Wisconsin for Trump, that's when they called the election for him. And he gave his early acceptance speech the morning of November 9th, the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. Remember what Donald equals. 119, November 9th, anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. Berlin Wall 45. Trump the 45th president running on a wall. Donald Trump has that commercial from 2010 talking to the digital sheep, numbers 11 and 9, in the same suit he wore on election night. So Green Bay Packers, I'm going to have to do some more work on that story. You know, Green Bay Packers went down in the NFC Championship. Before the season began, more than a year before the games were played, I said why the Falcons and Packers were two of my top teams in the NFC to make it to the Super Bowl. Remember Wisconsin? Oh, geez. Wisconsin, having some typing problems. Wisconsin and Georgia are the only two states that sum to 44. Remember how Georgia, Atlanta beat the Packers with 44 points in the NFC Championship? And I talked about this. The Super Bowl was on a date with 44 numerology. All stuff I talked about more than a year before it happened. And with regards to Trump becoming the 44th person to be president, again, it was Wisconsin that called it for him. Wisconsin also has the 118 gematria, November 8th election. All scripted, Truth Seeker. But I bet you there's more with this Ricky Jean-Francois. I'll have to look into that. Big G on the side of their helmets, symbol of the Freemasons. That's enough for now, Truth Seeker. Until next time.